Welcome back to another episode of the Living Waters Chronicles podcast, man. I'm your host, T.
This is J-A-Y.
Man, and tonight, we got a super duper special guest, man. He's an actor. He's a father. He is a successful living being we got with us, Barry. Y'all give it up, man. Y'all give it up for him. Welcome to the show, Barry.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So what's been up, Barry, man? I know, you and I, we go back some time and whatnot, and I know we just, we recently reconnected and stuff, but it was a long gap between that time, but what's been up, man? I know we living in a hell of a year right now, so.
Yeah, all between that time where we were working at, where were we working? Comcast?
Oh, man, Comcast.
Yeah, we were working at Comcast at the time, so yeah, that's been a long time ago, but in between then, trying to manage artists, we're not trying, but managing artists, getting their lazy asses to move, and then started doing me, being a father, trying to get healthier and live better and get my immune system right. And also in between those times, dude, I've been living. I had lived rough too. I had 2 heart attacks within that period of time. So yeah, just getting myself back together, man. So health wise, all that good stuff. So fighting the uphill battle, but I'm with it. I'm a fighter. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's inspiring as hell, man.
Extreme. I wasn't expecting to hear that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Not one, but 2. Man, that's
2 of them, man. Right before I turned 35, and then 2 years after that. Yeah, it was like a month before my birthday, 5 days before my birthday, my 35th birthday. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, man. God saw me through though, so it was all good.
Right. Absolutely. It's a blessing, man, that you're here. It's number one, it's great to have more Black men, positive, role models, because you doing your thing out here, man. So you lead by example, and you have little ones that's looking at your every move too. So anytime that we can have, we can keep more of us on planet Earth. I know we have our time and whatnot, but the time is about the time that we live. It's about how we live, and not necessarily how long we live. So. Definitely. To keep that, and you here, we talking right now, man. It's a blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I guess with all that, what have you been doing to keep yourself productive during these times? Going with the COVID and everything like that. What does Barry do to keep himself rolling?
Pray during the day.
Yeah.
Chase my daughter, and just trying to exercise my mind, man. Just praying, reading as much as I can. I hate reading.
Me too.
I'm like a million other brothers out there. I can't stand to read, but because my profession causes me to read, I read. I read a whole lot more. So, it's been a blessing, and it's also a struggle because again, it's something that I had to discipline myself to do, just to read and do that. Get up, exercising now lately, more, and trying to be more active in the community.
Yeah, yes,
especially out here in Atlanta, during activist stuff, and trying to stay self-aware and socially aware of what's going on out here. Now I can't say I'm this woke person, but I'm fighting. I'm trying to put in my little, my part of it.
That's all you can do. I mean, that technically that is, in my definition of it being woke or whatever, that is being woke, because you are consciously making the necessary decisions you have to make to get to the next step or whatever it is. I mean, you're being a father and you're active. You're an active father. and you're a present father. So that means, to me, that is what a woke person is. That alone can make somebody woke. It doesn't have to always be about being a hotep or, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't gotta always be that. It could just be the fact that you're in your kids' lives, you're present, you're not giving up, and you're doing the best you can to just stand on your own too, and help them stand on their own too. So, amen.
Yeah, man, I got a son right now that's going to Alabama A&M. Shout out to Amari Williams. So proud of him. Young boy, man, he's making leaps and bounds. Got straight A's this first semester so far. So
excellent. That's just dope.
Proud of the kid, man. And it's been a struggle because his mother just passed.
Wow.
A few months ago.
Wow.
And her name is April. And yes, it's been a struggle, and I know it's been rough on him, you know. But just to see him continuously push is also motivation for me, because I know when him losing such an intricate part of his life, to see him be able to continue to strive and do things, and I know it's a struggle, then, you know, who am I to quit? You know, so he's a motivation. Sometimes you don't raise your kids, you know, sometimes they help raise you too. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
The only thing I can relate, I know it's not the same thing, but the closest thing I have is I got nieces and nephews that look up to me. I got, like, you know, Jay and I go way back. We go back to like 9th grade, and that's where everything started for us. But then, you know, we matriculated through all that, got to college, you know, he went to school, I went to school, and we was in school at the same time in some of the same classes. And then right around the time when Jay had his first child, I was still around, and so I got to be active and learn more about being more hands-on in someone's life like that too. Because like both of our fathers, can I talk about it, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay. Both of our fathers weren't really like there like that at all to me. Like mine wasn't there. And then like I learned more about we started to exchange those kinds of stories, like probably like 11th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade, we kind of got to know each other. 10th grade, we started hanging out for real. 11th grade, we was pretty much inseparable, just running the streets, doing everything. Not streets in that sense, but you know. Well, you know, we was out here wilding and then just different things, but we started learning more about each other's family dynamics and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm really glad that we started having those conversations early, because it opened up different paradigms and doorways in our brains that we didn't realize were there, but what it was also doing was creating more trust within each other, the brotherhood, and, you know, having somebody's back and stuff like that. So
definitely,
I don't know where I was going with that, but that's I'm gonna leave it right there.
Pretty much what you're trying to say. Y'all had a great bond, man. Y'all had a common denominator there. So there was some likeness there, and it made y'all mesh together. It's a beautiful thing, especially when we can dwell in unity, and there's something there that brings us together, some kind of commonality, and that's cool. I don't know where I was going there either, but
hey, don't matter.
I love it.
Hey, now I'm drinking this half a gallon of water. So if y'all see me just disappear from the interview, just know I had to go use the restroom. That's
fine, man. You
that's
know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Restroom break.
We be having commercials on here. We got to pay bills real quick.
I know, right?
Any of y'all sponsors want to, you know, we got commercial spots for you, so go ahead and hit us up.
Definitely. Anybody, for real. You got a product, we're open.
Absolutely.
We'll figure it out. Hey, we'll figure the contracts out in a minute.
We are a startup.
Get that money first, bro. You trying to get paid, dog.
Absolutely.
Damn all the rest.
Absolutely, man. But again, man, shout out to your son, man. I remember like when we were working at Comcast, like your boy was like young, like he was. Yeah, I remember. I remember but now just to hear him now, he's in college. Like that's wild.
We old,
man. Right. We getting up there.
Shout out to A&MU. Ooh, that booty.
Yeah.
What y'all know about Alabama A&M, man? I have some stories about Alabama A&M. I can't share with that on your podcast, gentlemen. Y'all
I didn't think you could. The way you said it, I was like, he ain't gonna talk about that.
yeah,
This is not the tell-all episode.
Right, that's a lot of censorship that needs to be going down.
I'm imagining these were things that happened before social media was nearly as popular as it is.
Oh man, there was no social media when I was
Even better. Even better. That means you were actually in college then.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's like it was barely we barely had cell phones. I think we had the big ass Nokia cell phones, the one you could run over with an 18-wheeler.
Oh yeah, the Nokia 6010 with the snake game. You can't go wrong with that. The green screen.
The indestructible Nokia.
Right.
Oh man.
Whatever happened to Nokia? Anybody know?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's a good research topic. Nokia ended up selling its mobile devices division to Microsoft in 2013. So that ran into the ground according to what this is saying, and then they had a hiatus, but then the Nokia name returned again to a new company called HMD, and then that was backed by FIH Mobile. I don't know what that is. It's a subsidiary of a manufacturer.
Look at that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So they like not. I mean, they're not really in the running, obviously, because we know it's only
like they're not even freaking LG, dog. Like
right.
I'm just joking, LG. If one day y'all need me to do anything commercial,
and me too, us too, yeah. Right? Whatever. Like, it was a joke.
Yeah. Life's good, right? Yeah.
But man, so we usually begin before we get into the interview portion, which is already kind of happening. This is a question we usually ask everyone, and it's metaphorical. But when life has given you lemons, when have you found yourself making lemon water?
I'll speak on something that happened recent. It has to do with acting. Okay. So as actors, we hear no a lot. Sure. You can audition for 10 roles and get 9 no's. So I can say that I found myself getting down like the other day. Like I gotta know it's a role that I really, really wanted. And I never heard anything back. Right. And I was freaking out, mad at the world. Right. And I can say this, that it was by my girlfriend. She's like, yo, you got 2 more auditions coming up. So I had to look, I started to just look forward to what I had ahead of me rather than being sitting still, stuck on the no. So I try to keep a positive mind space at this point. And it's been working for me, trying to change the way I think and the way I feel, because I am a sensitive creature. I'm very sensitive. I get emotional.
You're an artist.
Yeah.
You're sensitive about your shit.
Yeah. And I do need to develop thicker skin. I'm not gonna freaking lie. I do.
It's like
those no's do bother me, just like they do a lot of people. People say they don't, but they do. But that's just an example. Also, just like I said, with the death of my son's mother, man, it's right. I don't know how I turn that into water. It's just that hurt. That one hurt, man. That one really, really hurt.
Yeah.
But I had to sit back, and when I think about April, I think about the beautiful times and the spirit that she had and how much she actually loved God. And just that there alone, remembering how much she loved God, how much she praised him and everything,
right,
connected into my life. And it made me want to get more and closer to God, because she had this relationship with him that I yearn for. And it's like she could listen to him and hear him talk to him or her and all that stuff. So I'm looking to have that relationship. So to turn her death to a positive was, for me, trying to get closer to God.
For sure.
And trying to see, just living like her example, man, just praying every day, doing what I need to do. When something goes wrong in my life, I just hit my knees and pray and still praise him.
For sure.
That's why I'm turning my lemon into lemon water.
Very good.
That's been very good.
Thank you.
Very good, man.
Very good.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. But my definitely, you know, our condolences, man, to you and your son, man. Like you said, I'm sure that's been tough on him, and you know, in a way I'm sure he was at a place to where, you know, trying to figure out how to move on with life, and to still know that it's still his time to like do whatever he's going to do in the world when that time comes. But man, I can only imagine at that time when that happened, like, man, like, wow.
Yeah, dog. It's been rough for him. It hit me at a shock. You know, we try to you try to prepare yourself for things like that, man. That's gonna happen. But
yeah,
when it finally does hit, you know, it's like cancer is a motherfucker, man. Cancer is a motherfucker. But when it finally does take its toll on a person's body, and you know they succumb to it, it's like you try your best to be prepared for that. But
yeah, but
I don't think that you ever will and can be prepared.
True. So I can speak to that. My grandmother, that was the first traumatic death I had experienced in my life. I was 9 years old. We lost her to breast cancer in 1998. And so she was like she was a teacher, and I hated school with a passion
right.
I mean, like in the beginning, I liked school. It was okay. Like, you know, she kind of made it more okay for me, right. Because she was patient with me. I mean, I know I probably gave her hell. She probably laughing right now, listening to me talking about this. But I know I gave her hell with, like, you know, wanting to read and math and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like the time that she took with me, and in the way that she had affected so many people's lives. Like, I mean, like some of the hardest people from the time I lived in Scottsboro, Alabama for like 4 or 5 years, longer than that. But like I went through there K through 4. And so, I mean, like some of the hardest people in the town, they're saying like, man, you know, she taught me how to read, man, like stuff like that. And they remember those moments. And so I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know? And these are people I don't like. Like some of these folks, I don't even fool with them. But it's like, I'm like, damn, I'm like, my grandma, I'm like, y'all had a connection. Like, but I'm not to say that they couldn't, but I just, some people you just don't vibe with. And so,
right.
To hear stuff like that and inspiring stories, but then to hear your story about how you experienced what we feel is an untimely transition due to a monster like that, I can relate the best way I can possible. It is something that you cannot prepare yourself for. I mean, you think over like scenarios in your head, what would you do and stuff like that. But a lot of times we kind of just spinning our wheels, and it might be doing more hurt to us than helping us sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Because sometimes you can just mentally exhaust yourself.
Yes.
Trying to figure it out. And as you know, and this one passage I was just reading not too long ago, other day actually in the Bible, and it's like, lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord. Like, we don't have a clue. We don't understand why certain things happen, but you just got to trust in Him.
Right.
And try to keep moving forward. Because once you start trying to sit there and think about it and why did this happen? How can I do this? How can I do this? Sometimes it's just out of your control. Some things are just out of your control, and it just has to happen. You don't know why.
I hate that part too. I be hating it. But you're right, for real, Barry, for real. And that's something I need to work on more. I try to control more stuff than I thought I did, and I be tired, bruh. Like I be like Jay know. I talk to him. I'm like, man, I can't get this, and this together, and he be like, man, you just gotta just relax, man. He be like, just trying to relax, man. Like, and I need to listen to Jay because Jay got the kids, got the wife, got the house, like everything going on. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
That's one thing I remember about Jeremy is Jeremy was always cool, laid back.
Always.
And the only time you would hear him really say something was when he was laughing. Like he laughed. He just always laughed, but you wouldn't hear him really just like going crazy or doing nothing stupid or any of that. Like
you hear that dude laughing down the hallway.
Yeah, he's behind dude.
Man, yeah, man.
I don't know him like that, you know what I'm saying, out in the streets. Yeah. And Jay, I remember, he's just a cool, laid-back guy, man.
What's up?
Just chilling.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. That's just how I just try to. I had to learn because I do have my moments to where like I start stressing about stuff, but then I have to worry about I can't stress on what I can't control, and I have to take it take it at a day at a time, and I had to learn a great deal of patience. I think having kids kind of accelerated that for me because I have to like approach things now that is not just about me. Every move I make, everything that I do impacts them in some sort of way. It may not be, it may be indirectly, it may be directly, and it may be delayed. But like, I'm pretty much, I live life as to try to, like, I'm leaving a legacy behind. Like, I want to, be remembered as someone that just was, like you said, cool, laid back and things like that, and just, try to enjoy life because it was for a moment, for a while back, and and Tack know this as well. I had got real down on myself because I started comparing my life to others. I kind of felt I was at I thought my life should have been figured out in my 20s. Little do I know that's starting life at that time.
Yeah,
and and I compared my life. I compared myself to others heavy. And social media had a big impact on that because as we know now, social media, is stuff out there, people that want you to see, want you to see, not their life. They want you to see, what they want you to see. And a lot of it's fabricated. And, at that point in my life, I'm just like, damn, what did I do? Like, man, like I got real, real hard on myself, and I had to remember and learn, like, I can't compare myself to everybody else. I have to live. Yeah. I have to play the hands that I was dealt, and I have to try to make do with that hand. And I'm not gonna fold. That's the mentality that I have to come in. And I'm not a finished product by all means. I still learn every day. I learn something new with being a parent. You think after, because now I'm on my third child. You think you know it all, but you don't. And I have to. I have to take it as a blessing to me is learning a new lesson, and yeah. So ever since then, I've kind of made peace with a lot of things, and man, I'm just enjoying what I can with my life because I feel like I'm blessed right now. So
it's crazy you said that too, because I sit here and I was talking to my life coach the other day, and he was asking me a question. I can't remember the exact question he asked me, but he asked me if I didn't pursue acting, how would my life be at this from in 20 years? And I told him, bro, I'll be sitting there just sad, just one of those people who being haunted by those same dreams every night because I did not try to pursue my dream. And I would be haunted by it. Man, I would find myself just because I kick myself because I wasted. Sometimes I sit back and I spent so much time behind other people's goals and dreams trying to help them pursue it. I forgot my own, bro. I forgot that I've been wanting to do this forever. And I sat the other night and I had a nightmare, dude. I woke up sweating because I was kicking my own ass because I felt like maybe I should have did this a long time ago, or I should have been here in such amount of time. And it's all God's plan. It is what it is. I had to go through what I had to get to so that I can get to where I'm at now. And not that I'm doing all this huge stuff, because I still work a job, I still hustle. I got to support myself, putting myself through acting school, traveling on some of these gigs, and thank God that most of the gigs that I am getting now, I get paid for. So that's a blessing, you know what I mean? But a lot of folks can't say that. And I just started back doing this a year ago, bro.
Man, back at it.
I've been blessed. But it is one of the things that is a scary thing that a demon I had to fight. Thinking that something should have happened for me so long ago, or if I would have did this so long ago, and well, I should have did this and I should have did that, and you would kick yourself in the ass. You'll be in your own way and not even try to pursue your goal if you keep thinking that way. And I had to get out of my own way for a while, man. I'm glad you said that, bro, because it just brings back full circle what me and my my life coach were talking about. His name's Fred, so it brings back full circle, man.
And I'm glad you said that, Barry, because I was talking to a mentor of mine as well recently. He was telling me, he's like, T, you gotta get out of your own way, man. He's like, it's you at this point. It's you. Like, I got a whole lot of like uncovered crap from my past that I didn't realize I was still carrying all this time, and it is in my way. Like, it's just I got the company and I got the podcast and I got my life and I got a wife. She'd always been there, but she won't go anywhere. I try to get rid of her. Just kidding. But
get rid of her for real, dog. Did you really try?
I did. I tried to break her a few times because that was in my nature. It was in my nature to want to be back alone because I felt like it was easier for me to make decisions when it was just me and I didn't have somebody else depending on me in any kind of way, riding on me. Like I can deal with, like my mom needing me to do stuff or whatever, or like a friend, or how me and Jay we roll. You know what I'm saying? We always depended on each other for a whole lot of stuff, and it's like I felt like I could handle that kind of stuff, but continuing to try to keep somebody on like as your mate, it was more of a challenge. That when I actually applied myself at trying to maintain it got more challenging than I wanted it to be, and I did want to walk away. But if you stay in it and you be prayerful, like you're saying, and just to have that willingness to succeed, or just be willing to fall down, and then continue to get up and stand up and stay in it. That's tough. And people don't do that, and I think that's the side of the relationships that people. That is the reason why relationships dynamics and we have this cancel culture so much now, and that's the new thing. Like it's new to just get rid of people. Now I do believe that you should sever relationships that you don't need, even if it's your own family sometimes, because they could be toxic for you and how you live your life. But some relationships you have to just make sure you analyze it properly, and then did you pray about it, or did you try to assess it fully before you decide to just do away with it because of your ego?
Correct. Right. Yeah. I agree. And what's beautiful though, man, is that you and Jay are able to continuously have this friendship. That's a beautiful thing because around y'all's age, I start losing friends, and I was like, people, and it's not because it's a bad thing. People just start going in their own directions.
Yeah,
and for y'all to be able to still own a business together, have this podcast together, and do certain things together. That's beautiful. It's not like y'all are just taking from each other. Y'all are actually putting something in the pot and building. And that. I love that. I love to see that happen, man. Especially Black men, we don't have enough of that in our community. It's always one person just taking. I used to be that taker. I was a drug addict, so I used to be that taker. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just take, and not give back to relationships. And I was taking so much, I would leave people empty. And then it's to the point where, like you said, you would have to leave those toxic motherfuckers to the side because it is what they are. They're not going to only destroy themselves, they're going to pull you down too. And sometimes you just got to let that go. And once I found myself and start seeing that, dog, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
But no, I respect that, man. I think I don't know exactly what you said, but after you had mentioned your past and how you were taking, and it left other people empty. I was also thinking about if it was with me and my stuff, you also leave yourself empty too. Because it's like it's empty on both sides. Like everybody gets drained. So
yes, bro. It's a draining thing, and it's almost like being I don't know if y'all know about these things, but like a woman demon being a succubus. I don't know if y'all heard of succubus secrets. But yeah,
I've
you don't
heard.
want none of that around you. Yeah.
Can't have
but yeah, man, it's almost like that. Just use you, and just train you until you have nothing. All of your life force, all your energy.
energy is key. You got to have that to do. Wake up, work out, be connected to your job and stuff like that. Like, I mean, you gotta, I don't know. You just gotta have that together. As if you don't, for like protecting your energy is a whole nother thing too. Like, being around the right people, or watching the right things, reading the right things, listening to the right things. Like, we used to give people a hard time, like, like I say, like, church folks or whatever. Like, I know some people that only listen to gospel music, and I mean, I don't hate on it. At one point in time, I did, because I kind of felt like as a musician, like, I'm a drummer as well, and so I kind of felt like it diminished your artistry because you're only sticking to one genre. So it kind of takes away from you being able to branch off into multiple genres. But sometimes people only strictly want to be a gospel artist. And so they feel like they have to fully immerse themselves into that type of music to be that way. And then one of the other guys I know, he's an ordained minister. So it's difficult for him to openly say that he listens to anything else, because I think he's in fear of protecting his image. So his flock won't not rock with him because of that.
Right.
But I mean, I challenge him sometimes. I'm just like, well, you should. I'm saying, if you don't like regular music, I can respect it, like secular music or whatever. I was like, but if you're solely not listening to something that you probably like because you're worried about what other people are thinking, then they may not be the kind of people that you need to be trying to lead.
Yeah, right,
you know what I'm saying? The people, they'll find you. In other words, is what I'm saying. But
that's real. That is real, man. Sometimes I think people get so caught up in being so churchy, they forget about what the reason church is built. They forget about what Jesus really was here for. Like, he wasn't here to just reach the churchy saints.
True that.
I don't need to preach to the saints. I need to preach to the damn prostitute. I need to preach to the goddamn drug dealer. I need to preach to the goddamn pimp. I need to preach to the damn person out here on drugs. I need to preach to the guy out here beating his wife. I need to preach to the woman that is letting the man beat her. You know what I'm saying? I need to preach to those people. Those are the people that need help. Those are the people who need the preaching. You know what I mean? Those are the people who need the gospel. So I think sometimes people get so caught up, like you said, in the freaking image, they forget about the people who they really need to be feeding the image to. You know what I mean? And it's those people who still listen to ratchet ass rap music like I do.
Exactly.
I still listen to Lil Bootsy and
that's a bar right there.
All that stuff, you know. So
absolutely,
that's just
a whole bar right there.
I love the church I go to here in Atlanta. It's the Dream Center of Atlanta.
The Dream Center. Okay.
Yeah. And it's Pastor William Murphy, and he'll get a little ratchet. You know what I mean? But he'll let you know that he's still, you know, he's not street so much that he ain't saved, but he understands. And those are the people that he reaches out to. It's so freaking nuts, man. The first day I went to that church, we leave church and it's at night. And it's dark as hell out there. We got to walk through a tree line, pretty much. And this drunk ass dude comes up to us, man. And he doesn't ask for money. He doesn't ask for anything. He says, "Brother, can you please pray with me or pray for me?" And I did. And I haven't seen that gentleman at all again. But I just like, it made me tear up, because I don't know if that was God. It could have been an angel. It could have been just me getting tested.
Never
I
know.
could have been like, "Get the hell away from me, Mom." You know what I mean? But
anything.
I just left church, and if you turn your back on people like that, God gonna turn his back on you. That's just how I feel.
Real quick.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna be preaching, y'all. My fault.
No, man. This is great. This is what. Great. Yeah. Man, this we love this, man. Like we said, man, I'm getting inspired and all of it, man. Like, it makes me, like, basically my next question was going to be, who is Barry Williams? You know, but I feel like, you know, you've beautifully kind of like expressed like who you are in the way that you you know, talked about
absolutely.
everything that we've discussed thus far.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, if they don't know who you are or have a sense of, you know, who you are, they're not paying attention at this point. But let's go ahead and, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and say, like, if you want to go ahead and just give like a little, you know, more in-depth, you know, explanation, like who's Barry Williams?
Oh, bro, I am a God-fearing father. I am an activist. I am an artist, and I'm a friend. I can also be, you know, I have I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues.
Oh yeah, it's all of us.
But I'm
Sure.
just me, man. I just really like, I want to see people help. I want to see people done right. I want to see justice served. I want to see people being helped. I just want to love. I want to put that energy back out in the world because I've felt so much hate and done so many hateful things and have been hated and so many hateful things done to me. I just don't even want that kind of energy around me no more. So
Right.
I'm just a God-fearing father, man. And that's as good of a description of what I can give you at this point without trying to go too much in depth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so, you know, so as we touched base loosely on it about you being an actor and whatnot. I know the last time that we talked, which we're going to get into later in the interview, you know, you were doing your music thing with like management and whatnot. But as far as like acting, man, this is awesome stuff. So like, could you explain like some of the process and steps in becoming an actor? Like, you know, you're really like the first person that I'm just speaking for myself and not for Tack. He probably knows several, but you're like the first person that I know that's like trying to go into the acting world. I mean, you see it on TV, you see it dramatized on shows and whatnot. So I just like explain like some of the process and steps that you have to take in becoming on this path.
It's just like anything else, man. You know, getting educated first. So I went to YouTube University for a while before I went to YouTube University, and I didn't go there for so much of seeing acting methods and techniques and things like that way. I went there to listen to other actors, seeing their ideology, seeing what they were studying, how they were studying, seeing their work ethic, seeing how they moved and things of that nature. So first I went there and I went and got an acting coach. I've been to 2-3 acting schools now, and got in some plays. Just remember back how I was doing acting in high school and in college. Got in a few plays, and I've been working since then, man. I did plays, starting out was plays, and then I even did some background work. And the reason I did background work, and I tell people this, background work isn't for everybody. That's some of the longest 12 to 18-hour days you will pull in your damn life.
Yeah.
And most of the damn time, you just sitting there looking at the damn wall or either talking to somebody or listening to somebody talk stupid. But the reason I went and did background work, or let me not say background work, extra work. So you've been just an extra.
Right.
I wanted to go and look at the Forrest Whitakers. I wanted to look at the Jennifer Hudsons. I wanted to go look at Marlon Wayans. I wanted to go look at what's the young lady name that she played Harriet. I wanted to go look at those people. I wanted to look at Malcolm Jamal Warner and see how they worked. I wanted to go look and see, okay, this camera is focused on this way, on the actor this way. The actor's pointing this way. I wanted to go see what light speed, camera speed, action meant. I wanted to go see all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see it firsthand on a big set. So the only way that I knew that I could get that knowledge and try to get it quickly, because I am older, was by going to do some extra work. So I wanted to just go. I knew I had to I'm putting in the time and I know it's not going to happen overnight. Man, acting is hard as fuck.
True that.
When I tell you it's hard, bro, just to sit there and say, "Hey, cry," and you start crying and making that look like you just throwing up all over the place.
Right.
Like you throwing up emotions and it doesn't look real. It's hard. You know what I mean? Because it just is. And then add it to that you're not even you. You're another character, but it's still you. You're trying to think like, how am I not me, but I'm somebody else, but I still got to be me. You know what I mean?
Man.
So, and then learn how you have to use your whole body as your instrument. Like you are the instrument.
Yeah.
Like the creativity is coming through you.
Yep.
So you know how you usually, if you're an artist, you're a drummer.
Yeah.
So you know your drum set is your instrument. The sound comes out of your instrument. Well, I don't have that option to beat on something else. I have to beat myself.
True that.
Use me to beat in order to portray what I need to portray to the world so that you can see and understand and get what I'm doing.
And believe in it. Getting other people to
make
believe.
it believable.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the main thing, man. It's like, because like I said, anybody can get out there and, oh Romeo, where art thou?
Right.
Fuck, who the fuck are you talking to, dog? You know what I'm saying? I don't even believe you, dog. Like,
Man.
so just getting the education was first and foremost. Going and do every little reading tutorial that you could do on YouTube. Finding out the best acting coaches, schools in your city or area. Find out who's doing casting.
Right.
Find out what agency. I still haven't gotten an agent yet. I'm just getting blessed still, bro. So
nice.
Once I get an agent,
whole other situation.
I want to work on getting an agent coming up in 2021. I just wanted to give myself this. I felt right now the most important thing for me was the learning process or learning everything. It's the learning aspect of it. So doing that learning, getting an acting coach, researching who's who in your area, like the casting directors, who are the top talent agents in your area, who is the design person, who are the dope directors that you want to work with, who's even, then also the main thing when you first started out acting, you're going to be in stuff that you may not think is to your tier what you want to be, but because you're going to start small. So you're going to start in small plays, and then you're going to move up to bigger plays. Then you're going to do a bunch of independent films, and then you're going to have to go to SCAD, which is the acting school here in Atlanta. You're going to go to those students. Hey, can I get in one of your feature films or student films? Because what you need to start off with, you need a reel. You know what I mean? So you got to have an actor's reel. You got to have all of that stuff in order to build up your resume. And within a year, I have a pretty good resume, man. And plus, I was just blessed. I got lucky, dude. Like, the first project I did a play, and then after that, beginning of this year, I auditioned for the Life Jennings project, and I was not going to go. I was supposed to send in a self-tape.
Wow.
I was not going to go. I was supposed to send in a self-tape audition, which means you do it on Zoom, you send it to them, you upload it to YouTube or Vimeo or whatever device or whatever streaming service they can use, and you send it to them. I didn't do that, and my girl's like, "No, we're freaking going." So she pushed me to go.
Nice.
We made it here. When I get there to the freaking audition, bro, it's so many young people in there. I mean, it's so many young people in there. It's like hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, this is the fourth day of freaking audition. This is the fourth day of auditions. I get in there on the last day of audition. I go audition for one role, not knowing that they already have that role filled. How I found out they had that role filled is by the casting director was on the phone with Life and was like, yeah, so we already got the detective role. We already got the other white guy gonna play detective. I'm like, there's only 2 detectives. I was going for the one detective. Y'all already got it. What am I here for?
Wow.
So I did it, and Life said, hey. I walked out, and after my audition, and Life, the casting, I guess Life said something to the casting director, said, hey, get him to read something for somebody for another role. So they gave me a new script. I went over it. I sat there for about 15 minutes, tried to learn those lines the best of my ability. Went in there, read the lines. Did it was not a cold read, but it was an off book read, which means that I didn't have to look at the script. So that may have impressed them too, because I was able to remember things a little fast.
Wow.
And it really became from my background of being a rapper and being around rappers, because you remember lyrics. So
you got the rhetoric.
A script. So I did that. I went in there. Yeah, that was over within 30 seconds. So I walk out, and then next thing I know, Josh Vance. I think it was Josh Vance. Or it may have been Michelle Brooks. It was Michelle Brooks. I'm sorry. She's a dope casting director. And Josh Vance was in there. Josh Vance, y'all may not know who she is, but she was also the producer of Wildin' Out with Nick Cannon. So she was one of his producers. And they came back and said, I was at the door, dude, and I sat there at the door because I started talking to Kaya, the girl who sings My Neck, My Back. She was there for some freaking odd reason. Because it was at the studio. And I just asking her about, hey, this laughing with her. And then the lady came up and said, hey, Life wants you to come back for a callback. I was like, a callback? What's a callback?
Right.
Oh, she said, you new to this for real, ain't you? I was like, yeah, I'm a newbie. I was 2 months in, and they was like, so he's going to call you. So if you can't stay in the Atlanta area, and what's going to happen is if he wants you, then the callback is going to, if we're going to have you for the callback, then you're going to come to his house, and we're going to do a table read.
Excellent.
I stayed at one of my people who I was in a play with, and she let me stay at her house that night, me and my wife and my baby. She let us stay there. My girlfriend, I call her my wife because she all I got.
Yeah, I feel you. I did the same thing.
You got my back to the T, dog.
For sure.
She let us stay at her house, and I got that call. I got that email at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Perfect.
I did not sleep that whole night until 1 o'clock in the morning. I got that email that said, hey, you have been invited for the table read. I went to Life's house, and boom, it was from there. I was able to put that on my resume and able to get work from there. Don't get it twisted, bro. I done got a whole lot of no's too.
Oh yeah, that's understood. Like I got
a whole lot of no's too. So it was that. And
got the table read, got the gig.
Yeah, and unfortunately, so far we still haven't heard anything because it was a pilot that we were shooting.
Okay.
We shot that pilot in 7 days. I had a minuscule role in it, but it was an impactful role because I was one of the enemies. I was one of the ops, as these young kids call it.
For sure.
So it was so good because, man, Jamal was in it. Jamal Gravy Woodard, he was in it. Donnell, what's Donnell's crazy ass name? The comedian.
Rollins.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah.
Jamal, the dude played in Biggie is in it, and both actors. And I made some freaking friendships within that 7 days. Me and those actors, man, we still kick it, we still talk.
It's awesome, man.
We do all that, man. So, just to be in that presence of on screen with Jamal was the dude who played Biggie was enough for me at that point. It's like
that's heavy, man.
That's my guy like now. And now me and him talk now. Like, you know.
That's what I was gonna ask more about. It's like the relationship dynamic. What is it? I mean, you know, I know that they're regular people like us, but like what I don't know, like what is it that they kind of like, did they offer any advice and stuff like that to keep you, you know, in the know and keep the wheels turning that need to be turning for your career progression and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. So not only them, they do give a lot of beautiful jewels as far as our profession, our craft,
cool,
and what to do. Like how at one point I was having problem remembering a lot of lines because I got a lead in the play and I just could not remember those lines to save my life, dog. Right, and then I was playing a Muslim father in it, and unfortunately COVID hit, so we didn't get to do that yet. But we're gonna film it in 2021. But,
okay, good.
So I was playing a Muslim father in it, and I know nothing about the Nation of Islam.
Right.
I know nothing about being Muslim.
Okay.
You know, I had to even learn how to say Muslim right. Because I was saying Muslim, and it's not Muslim, it's Muslim. You know what I'm saying? It's just pronunciation of things.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, man, you just got to go out here and you need to study certain professions, like if you're playing a fireman role, go out here and kick it with a fireman, go to the fire station, talk to a firefighter, do your research, go look at other people who've played those roles, and research those things. So they gave me a lot of jewels as far as stuff like that. I've been so removed from being a gangster. I didn't know how to be a gangster no more. I'm 39 years old at that time. I'm not to be no freaking gangster. I'm not that guy no more. So, or I want to portray to be. So I had to go back, and it's crazy because in the life thing, I was portraying a 20-year-old. Now I'm 39 years old, but I'm portraying a 20-year-old.
Oh yeah, it happens.
They put a do-rag on to cover the graves because I didn't go get no just for me or none of that, just for men or none of that. So I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to look young. I had to put a young thing on. So they gave me jewels like that, man. Just trying to keep myself, eating habits, working out, and like Jamal, he still didn't have an agent. He does all of his stuff off of what he was blessed with, and just winding. So he just said, man, don't wait on the agent. Don't wait on the agent because they got to pick you up. And then if you don't book let's say when the agent picks me up, if I don't book enough, they drop you. So you then your name is dirt. Like you can't. He's unbookable. He can't do this. He can't do that. So that's why I've been working on it. So they just like, man, just keep working. Get on Actors Access, which is a website that actors go to, subscribe to it, and get on there and see these paid gigs and things that are unpaid and do things that way. So, you know, they gave me a lot of good cues at that nature. I'm in another movie with the guy too, Jamal. Again, that's Biggie, Trey Chaney. I don't know if y'all know who Trey Chaney is. He was on The Wire. I don't know if y'all heard about The Wire, but he's in The Wire.
Yeah. Yes.
I got the whole series on Blu-ray, bro. I invested in it. Yeah. I mean, I remember I used to couldn't watch it. Like I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I would like sneak watch it anyway. But I was like, I got to see this because it's that good. I mean, Wire and the Oz are kind of like.
Oh, Oz was my joke, bro.
You gotta have. I feel like any film buff, like that's another thing. Jay and I, we are huge film people. Jay is more like the brains. He's the brains of knowing like every artist. He knows every actor and actress's name and where they came from, what kind of draws they wore on Tuesday. He know all of that. He'd be like, yeah, I know it's blue draws he wore, and I know because he'll just know it. I'll be like, you know the girl that playing. He'd be like, No Country for Old Men. Javier Bardem. Yeah, I know who it is. Like I just like, all right. And so I mean, I guess if anything, you can relate what you going through to I guess being like an A&R or like a label exec or owning stuff because you had to manage artists and stuff like that. So if anything, you could kind of like switch back and forth and be like, okay, yeah, now I'm on the other side, just in a different realm.
I have to. I don't even look at it as an A&R and executive. Okay. I look at myself as a rap artist that's on the grind. That's from
underground.
That's from Huntsville, Alabama, trying to move up.
Okay.
Make it to an Atlanta scene and putting in work, trying to get his music played by radio DJs in Huntsville and keep getting turned down. And finally he gets a record that's dope and now I could get on radio and now it's spreading through Alabama and now I'm able to get to Atlanta and get show money. That's how I look at myself. I look at it as an actual rap artist has to go through. It's a progression thing. So that's where I look at my hustle right now, or as my progression.
Nice. How long have you been in Atlanta? Because I know last time we talked, you was obviously here. Well, we talked, a couple of weeks ago because I live in Nashville now, as you know. But I know the last time we actually had a conversation face to face, obviously you were in Huntsville. So how long you been in Atlanta?
Actually, I was in Nashville before I was in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I was staying in East Nashville. I ain't gonna say what part of East Nashville, but I was in East Nashville in the hood.
I feel you.
I know about East Nashville.
Yeah, I was out there near Casey Project, so yeah, I was out there near that area. They're tearing it down now. God bless Casey. There's some fun times out there with them folks, man. But yeah, I've been in Atlanta for about a year now. About a year, and since last September, so a year. Okay. A year and a couple months.
Okay.
And actually, we were, man, me, my girl, and my baby, we packed up, and we were living in one of my co-actors, co-stars, or castmates' house.
Nice.
I started back like I'm picked up from nothing. Excuse me, and back hustling, man.
Yeah, man.
And it's just been a struggle because again, I had to. It ain't like I'm a 20-year-old kid and I have no children and I don't have any responsibility. I'm just out here going and I'm gonna go for it. Head straight, jumping off the porch. I had to really think about jumping off the porch.
Right.
Strategically this time.
Yeah.
And it still was a struggle because, like I said, man, we were sleeping in somebody's house, bro. And then we had at one point, we were sleeping in somebody's freaking basement.
Right.
For a couple of months. So the struggle has been freaking real. Like it has not been it has been real. It's been a struggle.
I hope you have been making notes this whole time so that way when you get ready to do your film, your biopic, we're gonna be ready for it. Cause that sounds like a movie. Like it sounds like a movie and
it's all up here. It's all up here. Yeah,
a book or something, man. Because when you were just talking about who you were, I was like, yeah, it sounds like a book. You know what I mean? Like something that somebody could read that just needed that last push, or they just needed to get started, or I mean, we all need encouragement daily, for sure, because now it's trying times, but I mean now more than ever, but it's always kind of like can be challenging. You just never know you never know the things the battles that people are facing, the ones that they're fighting that you don't hear about because you can't tell.
Yeah, bro. I think people only see the end result,
right?
Or when you finally blow up, and they don't understand the struggle or what was the progression for you to actually make it to that level.
Cool.
And I still have so much more to do. I mean, I got so many more acting techniques and methods to learn. I just got finished studying Meisner, which is a repetitive technique. Actually being able to play off another person. They say something, every reaction gets an action or stuff like that. Next one I'm going through is Chubbuck. Chubbuck is CUBBUCK. Just for any actors out there who are inspiring. That's like helping you be able to bring out your emotions, things like that. So I'm trying to study all of these methods, and all of these things come from Stanislavski, pretty much, which is a Russian acting teacher from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and those things are very important. So,
I would imagine learning the origin of anything is for you to be a part of an organization or a community. You have to fully immerse yourself into it, so that way you become more thorough and people can relate to you. And then, like for agents or organizations that want you to be a part of, their film or whatever, they would feel more connected to you or driven to you because you're driven yourself and you have that.
Not only that, it's like so you'll know it. So you at least look like you know half of hell what you're doing. So, like you just ain't getting it. And just like I said, oh Romeo, where art thou? And all that.
Where art thou?
Like that. You wanna at least be
where art thou, goddamn?
Put something in it. Try to make it look authentic as much as possible.
Authenticity is a necessity.
Yeah, man. That's why Denzel is so great, because he makes you really feel like he's really killing those people. When in reality, they're all alive. You know? Nobody really died.
Nobody.
Right.
They died so eloquently or elegantly.
Oh,
it's like, they're really dead. So he really makes you think he did it. You know what I mean?
Man.
But that comes from being a student of his craft, and that's a lot of work. I got that comes from years and years of it, man. They went to the best school. I don't have that luxury. I ain't got that kind of time, bro. So I'm trying to shove it all and get it all in very, very fast and try to get good at this quick as possible. And still learning every day. I was talking to one guy, his name is Zephaniah Terry. Shout out to Zephaniah Terry. He's on Ruthless, matter of fact, and he's actually a 25-year-old brother right now. He's playing 17-year-old on Ruthless, which is Tyler Perry's Ruthless, if y'all haven't seen him before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really dope. So he's actually out on the limb with us too. Shout out to Jamal, Zephaniah, Trey, Cheryl, Okarike, Shot, Bonjour, all of those people, man. Some really good people, good castmates. I got so hungry too. I got killed on the show. I got killed.
They got you.
I got like two little scenes, and then I get murdered.
Oh man!
And I was like, yo, because I wanted to be around greatness and learn. I became part of the freaking not the cast, but a part of the production.
Excellent.
So I'm up there holding the freaking the thing down. Getting the camera, hitting the slate, just so I can see those actors act, because that's important. Yeah.
No, man, that's admirable, man. I'm really glad you said that. Just be there to see what you can get. And there's been so many shoots and people I done met, been a part of. Like I met Beyonce knows. I mean, everybody knows who Beyonce is. I met her dad just doing a shoot. I was at work and I was there, and he was like, "You think you could go interview Mr. Knowles?" And I was like, "Oh, Beyonce's pops?" I was like, he was like, "Yeah, you don't mind?" I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." I just went, and I didn't have to interview him, but I set the whole shot up and connected him with the people, and then I shot the whole thing. Like, it was dope. And I was like, wow, I'm really here shooting Beyonce. I'm videoing her father doing stuff.
But see, if you were being lazy and not being in the room, you would have never got that opportunity.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that comes with part of being on your grind, bro, and really wanting to do something and really wanting something. Like, people don't understand a lot what it takes. I know you could, because you could have been at the house laying in the bed, chilling.
Man, and I'm good at it. I'm really good at that.
Taking a shot or something, or putting a blunt in the air or something. You could have been doing anything else in the world, but you went to work. And just so happened, God put out, hey, Beyonce ain't in town. Now you get a chance, an opportunity to do that and be around these people and be able to put that in your resume. That's huge.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's huge.
That is huge. Yeah. And Barry, I know you touched on like some of the challenges and stuff with being an actor, and the stuff that you have to do on cue. But do you have like a specific like role? Like, do you know? I'm sure you know because you've done it. But like, what would you say is your most challenging role or opportunity that you've had thus far? In your acting career so far.
The play that I would have been doing, which is called True to My Religion.
Okay.
And I would have been playing a Muslim father. That would have been the most challenging role because, again, I know nothing about the Nation of Islam. I would have had to go. I was going to go stay because COVID hit. I was going to go actually stay a week at one of the people's house in Maryland, one of the brothers who are part of the nation, just to see how he raises his family, just to see how they wake up in the morning, just to see how they pray in the morning, just to see him do that. Just to see his prayer, how they call on to God.
You were going to be in a play. You're probably obviously still a part of it called True to My
Religion. We're still gonna do the production.
Still rolling, good. And you're going to play. I mean, you're going to stay with a Muslim. What am I saying?
A Muslim family
for a week.
Yeah, just to see how they pray, just how they see how they call their Adhan.
Right.
Which the Muslim call a prayer. They do it 5 times a day, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? See how they pray. It's just the pronunciation of things. You know what I mean? Just to know that it's not Muslim, it's Muslim.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like how to pronounce that, just to say Ikama. You know what I mean? Just different Arabic words.
Right.
Of the faith of Muslim or Muslim, of the Muslim faith or the faith of Islam. And just that's a challenge. Because it doesn't call for you just to learn some freaking lines.
Right.
in the act. Now you have to learn a whole religion. Because you want to be authentic. You want to be true to it. You want to embody what a Muslim father would be. And to me, that would have been my biggest or most challenging role. I still have my script right here. True to my religion, y'all come. It's gonna be beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. I got to leave.
How are you gonna with the COVID, like with how COVID is? I mean, we praying and hoping to God that it is on a downward, like meaning we're going away from it hopefully sooner. What's the plan on how they plan on people being able to see
it? People are gonna, from my understanding, like the new play I'm in, it's called the play I'm about to do in January. It's called The One Thing I Wish She Knew by Sonia Welch. Shout out to Sonia Welch. And The One Thing I Wish She Knew, in the cast there. Or either go to check Sonia Welch's page out on Facebook. Sonia, Sonya. Welch is just like Welch is great. WELCH. So they're going to stream it. With True to My Religion, I think we're just going to straight shoot it like it's a freaking on stage play movie.
Cool. Bet.
So that's
be sure to, like, the plugs are necessary because you never know who's watching this or listening.
But I think y'all can get out there, man. Just got to do it the right way, the safe way. A lot of places where I go now, I'm sure when y'all go to work, they got to do the temperature checks and all that good stuff.
Everything,
every day, probably twice a day. So
you were saying that every time you go to the grocery store, you hate to see
people who don't have their mask on or whatever. And it's like I said, that's your own freedom, that's your own liberty. You have your decision, a right to make a decision, unless you go somewhere that says it's mandatory. But I think like when you and your wife get out, just do the safety precautions that you've been doing thus far, and everything will be okay.
Man,
that's what I've been doing, bro. I've been out there.
Yeah,
since COVID hit. After George Floyd got killed, brother.
Yeah,
I ain't care about no fucking COVID no more.
True that.
I had something bigger to fight with COVID.
True.
You feel me? I had something. We had something way more important than COVID to fight, because I'm getting tired of seeing us struck down by these people who are supposed to protect us, the people who we pay to protect us.
Right.
And it's not like we think, hey, protect us. No, motherfucker. Y'all got jobs. I got a job. We pay taxes. Those taxes go to them.
Right.
Parts of it do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how they get paid. The public servant. Nah, man.
And so meaning with that, like, how do you feel about, like, that's actually one of our on the docket, like, what with the protests, the recent protests, like in Atlanta as well as other cities, but especially yours, like, talk to us about what that is. I mean, what is that bringing you? Like, what do you think about that? Like, you were out there with it. Like, what was it like? And everything you got about it. How do you feel?
It's hot.
Yeah.
Midsummer, hot as hell. You're talking 6, sometimes 8 miles a day. Right. Nothing compared to what our ancestors went through when they marched from Selma to Montgomery. But it's still for the same kind of cause. Just for equal justice and rights. You know what I mean? Dog, it's important for us to not have to get in my car, and if I want to come tonight to Alabama from Atlanta, not feel scared that I can drive through the little country hick town without getting pulled over by a cop.
The sundown towns, as they call them.
Yeah, man. That's important to not have to live in that type of fear. To when a police officer gets behind you, you nut up so bad that you do swerve and then they pull you over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then they get to your car, you shake it so bad they pull a gun on you. Like, I'm scared of you. What the fuck are you scared of?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand some of them do run into some people that are just terrible people. Will open fire on them before they get a chance to open fire on them.
True.
But in the majority of our cases, that's not the case. There's too many black men that have been killed by these people who don't respect their profession. And not only don't respect their profession, they don't respect human life.
Yeah.
And, I think and so those protests were necessary.
Yeah.
The protests are necessary. I wasn't out there all 14 days pretty much that they did in here in Atlanta. I was out there 8 days.
Okay.
I was out there. We got to, you know, me and Jeezy and them. I was there with Jeezy. We
Yeah.
all congregated. We got it in, and just him and Jenny Mae, beautiful people, really good people. We got to do what we do. We talked to them afterwards. You know what I mean? We exchange information, and we're going to continue to try to continue progress for the city of Atlanta and for the country. I don't condone the riots and the looting. I don't
Right.
condone that, but I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only beat people down so much to the point where it's like, I can only beat my wife so much till she be like, one day, fuck it, I'm gonna grab a knife and just fight back. I can't get beat no more. I got to fight back at this point. My life depends on it to fight back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't condone the looting and rioting. I don't. But like I said, I can't tell those young people how to move.
Yeah.
Nah, they're gonna do it anyway. I mean,
I couldn't tell the settlers back in the Boston Tea Party not to burn up shit.
That's right.
But to each his own. And one group of people do it, it may be righteous, and when another group of people do it, it may be demonic. Just like when one of us get killed by a cop, they always want to bring up the bull crap that a black man does. Not about.
They always try to justify it.
You're right. They make you seem like this demon. Like you
they
are not.
They pull up the worst parts of their history if they have any, and because everything is a record. Like on having an online account for anything, it's all being recorded. We know that. We know that they're trying to pretty much morph computers with everyone's minds, and I mean like the cell phones and stuff like that. They're all trackers. I mean, every time you GPS on a vacation to go wherever you go, we know that they know where we're going and stuff like that.
Exactly, bro.
So it's not a coincidence. Like I tell people, I tell my young bulls, like, yo, don't tell on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand you like to smoke weed. I know you want to turn up. Whatever it is you do, you don't have to do that shit on Snapchat, bro. Like, you don't have to do it on Facebook. You don't have to give it away. And it's like, I never really understood where that came from or why. I can't remember. I mean, I used to have a good reasoning on it, but it's like we all kind of wanted to be like that at one point in time when we were like when MySpace first came out, we was all into it. It was fun. But at that time, it was still an option. You know what I mean? Like at one point in time, social media was an option. It was something that we could do, but we was too busy at the mall, at the park, at the movies, And so like these kids now, they were born and raised directly into the computer. I mean, because it's like the way now for you to do anything, like apply for jobs, get your groceries. You can order groceries to come to your house now and stuff like
that. Bro. right.
So
yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with just attention.
Yeah.
Some kids, some families, like back in the day when we didn't get attention, a lot of us ran to the streets.
Yeah.
We went to the streets, selling drugs or wanting that money or hanging with the partners or homeboys, and they gave attention, and that's the attention that we were seeking. That's the love that we were yearning for. I think sometimes now people are just yearning for the same love and attention that they may be lacking at home, and now because the cell phones and the Snapchats and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the TikToks are so prevalent, we are desensitized and we don't even know that we're really
needing attention is tough. It is dangerous. Being idle is dangerous. Being busy is good, but being productive busy is better.
Definitely.
Productive busy towards some type of you walking towards something, some kind of goal, some kind of something that you got for yourself. But all goals aren't necessarily good goals, depending on what it is.
True.
In my opinion, I mean, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing online to be successful, because that might not be the thing that works for you. It's working for your neighbor, but that's your neighbor and that's your neighbor's lifestyle or whatever, and that you're not going to be able to just generate the same thing that somebody else is generating, because their customers belong to them, just like yours belong to you if you're selling something or whatever it is that you're doing. And that I get caught up in that sometimes, just being an entrepreneur, like you, Jay was saying, and we all kind of had connected on a consensus of that. We would look or compare ourselves to someone else, and it happens on its own. It's like one of those things that just starts happening. You don't realize that's exactly what it is, but then after a while, you hating yourself for no reason, and you could have been spending that time loving yourself and building yourself up to just continue to preparing yourself, like preparation mode at all times, so that way whenever the opportunity presents itself, you are able to execute. Definitely. So, yeah, it's dangerous. Yes,
it is. It is. It's a drug almost.
Yes,
and you know, sometimes it can lead. Some attention is good attention, but not all attention is good attention. Like some money is good money, but not all money. Some money is just not good money. So,
because I mean, money really it means something, but like at this point, we knew that the value of the dollar. We want to get a little technical. The value of the dollar is like down for us. Definitely. And I think the euro is worth more than, I don't know the exact number, but people out here still killing themselves for money. And I think it's interesting how, like, I look on Snap or Facebook or whatever, and people still flashing like actual money. And I'm just like, wow, we in 2020 and folks are still doing this 95. Like, I'm like, wow. And I'm like, I'm like, you really actually showing me how much money you don't have, because people don't show it anymore. It's their money is in their projects, or it's in their land, or it's in their whatever it is that they're producing to do something. Like, you look at somebody that's got 4 or 5 car dealerships, 2 or 3 car washes. Maybe he's invested in some type of church venture where he's connected to planting churches or something like that. You are moving. You moving some weight, major, because land is expensive because ain't nobody making no more of that. You can't just make the land.
What you said.
So.
Yeah. I think, man, with that being said, like, I think a lot of us, or a lot of people, the general public, gets caught up on what these rap artists and other artists are doing, and not understanding when an artist flashes their money, it's because they can flash that money, but we don't understand the other things that artist may have. They have real estate, they have businesses, they have a car wash, they got a store, they got houses, they got a freaking corporation backing them. You know what I mean? We don't look at that part. So they got other, other means of monetary means. So we don't see that. We just see the part when they're with their cell phone, their money phone or whatever.
Yeah, the money phone.
Or money phone got an arm.
Oh yeah, that's the new one. That's the new one. I was like, oh, that's the new. I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, that is innovative. That's neat.
Yeah, so, I was like, okay, but we get caught into that, and we don't see that the things that the other means of monetary value that they may have.
Yeah.
And I think as the general public, that's what a lot of our kids get caught up in, and they like that. They see that lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's something to copy. And again, a lot of that is too for a lack of role models in the community.
Right.
That stems from that as well. So I think a lot of us, as older men, we should start stepping out here to these schools and talking to some of these kids. My main thing would be talking to kids about drug addiction, because I went through that before, alcoholism and stuff like that. I've been through that. So I would love to talk to kids about that. Yours may be about, hey, don't run in gangs, because I was in a gang, and this, or, don't disrespect your parents because I did that and it made me go down this road. And if I would have listened to my mom and dad, then I would have been here a little bit faster, or things would have been a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So I think those type of mentorship programs, if we had more of them within our community, then I think it could help a lot of kids see what is really going on, the reality of things, rather than what is being portrayed to them, on television. Because right now, I was so impressionable as a kid. Tupac was my role model. You know what I mean? Like, died at 25. You know what I mean? But that was my role model. That's who I looked up to. That's who I had to mimic as a man, and try to think that's how I should act, being hard like that. You know what I mean? But and it's sad. I guess I should have. I had a grandfather in my life. I had a dad. You know what I mean? I have a dad still. He wasn't there every day because he lived in another state. But I was able to come pick the phone up and talk to him. But because he wasn't there readily available, I picked up what was readily available, and it was a CD and music.
Right.
So That was my thing back then, a CD or a tape player. Actually, with the tape that, had to get towed up in a damn tape player. Now they got Instagram and they can go see their, because dad and mom ain't there, or dad and mom's working 2 or 3 jobs, or either dad and mom are just speaking absent. Now they can just go to Instagram or Facebook or wherever, TikTok, and see whoever they want to look up to, and they can mimic that. Same as I did back in the day.
I agree.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. It's now it's just more, it's less, I feel like it's less creativity in a lot of senses. Just because, like, I mean, I was born in '89, so technically I'm an '80s baby, but a lot of people don't give me credit. Is whatever. But I'm like, I'm an Asian kid. So I felt like I was born into a time where I kind of got the split on everything. So it was like, learning VHS, even 8-track, because my granddaddy, all his cars had 8-track players in there. And I was like, wow, like as a kid, music kid, I'm fooling around with tapes and CDs and all that. And so when we started to grow more into CDs and stuff like that, I started collecting them, like music and movies was my thing. And so my mom was just really big on pushing me to collect things. She's like, you got to have something that you like. What do you like? Like, she tried to give me a bunch of cards and cars and then like different crap. But then movies really was one of those things that stuck with me. And so I like sometimes I like, I like just the DVD itself or even the VHS. Sometimes when it's being recreated, it can take away some of the authenticity of the film itself, like the crackling and then those sounds, and watching the screen, you can see the little crackles in the film.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that kind of stuff because it just adds that character to it, and it makes you feel like, this is a film. Now things are so oversensitized. I mean, they're so smoothed over that it takes away the value of what you're watching. Case in point, I'm gonna throw a little shade. I watched a documentary about 6ix9ine. He's a rapper with the rainbow hair.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, and he might, whatever. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. The documentary was so well produced on a production level that it seemed fake. Like, it just didn't seem like a documentary. It seemed like a movie. In other words,
right.
And so, like, my wifey and I, we watching it, and I was like, babe, it don't even look real. And she was like, I was sitting here wondering, like, what is it? She's like, are we watching? Because in films, they often, like Tropic Thunder is an example where they had a whole section where it was like 3 different movie trailers in the beginning, and you thought that it was just still part of the previews. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, hold on. I was like, booty hole. Huh?
I love that movie, by the way. Shout out to Robert Downey Jr.
Shout out.
The only white man that got away with playing blackface. Robert Downey Jr.
It was respectful though. It wasn't even no big deal. The way he did it, it was tasteful.
That shit was dope.
It was funny.
It was funny and dope, and he did that.
Yeah,
he did it.
He did.
And what's funny about that, most people forget he was actually nominated for an Academy Award for that role. People for Best Actor. Yeah, people forget about that. Like, because, when they think of Robert Downey Jr. now, Robert Downey Jr., he means depending on what type of generation you're talking to, he means someone completely different. Like, to the generation now, he's gonna be known as Iron Man.
Right?
But the generation, prior, he was known as a bad boy. Robert Downey Jr. turned his whole, and I'm sure Barry, he was constantly
he went
in
jail,
through it. Like drugs, everything. He lived that life, and then something happened, man. Then he just flipped the switch, and he did Iron Man and never looked back. But he actually had done Tropic Thunder, I think, right at the same time as Iron Man, and he got nominated for the Academy Award. He didn't win, but he got nominated. But it's funny that people talk about that movie and that role, but people don't realize he was actually nominated for that.
Wow.
Damn, T, you wasn't lying about Jay.
I told you. I told you.
You wasn't lying. Yeah, he was actually nominated for Academy Award on that one. What's wrong with that, dog? But you.
I'm telling you.
Did you Google that quick?
Man, that is internalized. Jay ain't got to Google too much often in anything. When it comes to film, he ain't got to Google shit. He just know. And he, like, even in school, I mean, he's like that with film, and he's like that with, like, stats and stuff like that with sports and all that. Like, whenever I'm trying to play, like, fantasy football, if he's not playing, I'm like, he's like my ringer. I'll be like, hey, is this person worth picking up? Because I don't know what I'm doing. He'd be like, nah, you don't want to get him because he was wilding. He played like shit last year, and he probably going to get traded. And then all the stuff that he says ends up happening, or the person will get injured or something. I'm like, damn, man, he like the whisperer.
That's beautiful to have a sense. That's almost like a sense of discernment, and it's just knowing a history of a person, and you're able to use that to make beautiful, logical decisions. I love that, Jay. I love that.
Appreciate that, man. I just do like I do like a lot of reading to myself because like growing up, like my brother, my brother Brandon Gamble.
I know Brandon. We went to Moore's Mill together.
Yeah. As did I. I went to Moore's Mill too, and I went to Lynn.
You was there at Moore's Mill?
Huh?
You were there when it was Moore's Mill?
Well, I think it was Lynn Fanning when I went. It was Lynn. It was Lynn Fanning, and then I went to Meridianville Middle for like a week, and then I moved to Gurley with my mom. She met my now stepdad, and I went to Madison County High. We both did. So yeah,
Gurley.
But yeah, man, I spent a lot of time like growing up alone, like kind of like because like he's 8 years older than me, so by the time he turned 16, he was gone. I didn't really have nobody there. So I turned my knowledge into film. I watched a lot of movies. I still do. I collected a lot of movies. A lot of my movies, I tell my kids, I joke around with my kids all the time. I was like, this movie is older than you. And what I mean by older than you, I purchased this when you wouldn't even thought about.
Yeah.
And it's still in pristine shape. So like they know, like don't mess with my movies. Like I don't. That's just because I have 20-year-old DVDs upstairs right now that still works like new. And but I say this, when I watch a movie a lot, especially if it's a historical movie, like I was watching Malcolm X the other day, and I started reading about the movie, but I started looking up just random information about the Nation of Islam. Like you start talking about that. And I started looking up, just like facts about the Nation of Islam, like basically Elijah Muhammad and like the beefs that he not only had with Malcolm X, but he had run-ins with a whole bunch of other motherfuckers too. Of course that movie, it's Malcolm X is the focal point, but it just kind of lets you know the vision of what he saw about, Elijah Muhammad and why he turned his back on the Nation of Islam, which doesn't exist anymore. It's called something, it disbanded some years back, and it's called something else now, and Elijah Muhammad's son actually runs one of those organizations now. So
the Fruit of Islam?
Yes. So things like that, I just like kind of read up on, and then I started looking at, he ran into another guy that, he was kind of friends with Malcolm X. They kind of, I guess you could say, colleagues with each other. And something happened between them and between like him and the Nation of Islam, I guess, because they wasn't liking the shit that he was saying. Similar to Malcolm, they weren't liking the stuff that he was saying openly about it. Some of the bullshit that they saw in between it. And there was a whole, people deny it. They're denying it. And, just like he denied that he had nothing to do with the death of Malcolm X. But, there was a whole siege of like this man's like family. They killed his kid, like some of his kids, some like everybody in that household. And it was, it was done by people that was from the Nation of Islam at that time, Muslims. And then a few years later, he came up. Y'all should look this up. It's called the 1977 Hanafi Siege. And he basically, it was the guy, that family was killed, and I guess some other guys, some loyal people that he was with, he held the entire government hostage because, number one, he wanted himself, the murderers of the people that shot up his family, he wanted to kill them himself. And
Right.
then 2, he wanted the suspects that, you know, supposedly killed Malcolm and all of that. So he held like a whole place hostage for like 2 weeks. And of course they end up like negotiating with him, and of course, you know, they basically got him to like, because I think a person got killed in there too, if I'm not mistaken, and they basically got him to like stand down. But it just like, I say that to say, I just find myself when I'm looking at movies, I just, especially if it's, because I love history as well, so if it has like any type of, I like to look at it and just see the historical accuracy of it, and then I just find myself reading more things along with that, and I just was like, okay, I learned something about the Nation of Islam tonight. So, and that was a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I've seen Malcolm X.
Hey, what was that? What was that documentary again?
Well, it wasn't a documentary, but it was something I read. It might be a documentary. I don't know, but it's called the Hanafi Siege, Hanafi Siege. I think of 1977.
Okay.
Look that up. I mean, it should be damn near like, it should be something made, even if it's not like a motion picture, but like a documentary, because I find it very, very interesting. I never learned that in history, along with a lot of stuff, you know, and that's a different conversation for a different day. But I just find myself like, man, I didn't realize it. So, and this was just a couple of weeks ago. I was up late, and I was I just felt like watching Malcolm X, because I find myself, the older I get, the more I see that movie as a masterpiece, because I start to understand stuff more, because I think I probably watched that when I was very little, knew of Malcolm X, but didn't know the intricacies that surrounded him and what he stood for, and the reason why he, you know, kind of turned his back on the Nation of Islam and began to form his own brotherhood with the Muslim community and whatnot. So I kind of find myself, when I watch that movie each year, as I get older, I learn more about it, and I just, I don't know if it can be touched, man. Like I don't know if anybody can make another Malcolm X movie.
Oh, nice.
That was solid.
Yeah, I found it. Hanafi Siege, 1977, Washington, D.C., attacking hostage taken. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Reed, it's crazy, man. And I'm just like, whoa, this brother, like, and clearly he had snapped, because, you know, his daughter was killed. I think some of his nieces and nephews.
I was snapped.
My guy said, I want the people that were the suspects, because I want to kill them myself. Like, he wouldn't, he was not going, and you know, but of course,
dude, that's your daughter. Could you imagine something?
Yeah, it could have been crazy.
Someone who killed your family, and that's deep.
Yeah,
that's a major string to pull. Yeah,
man.
That needs to be a movie.
I'm telling you, man. Like, and I'm just
already speaking it into existence now.
Yeah, I need that role of the dude. I need the role.
There you go. Yes, there it is. Yes, I was waiting on you to say it. I was like, yeah, I'm hoping he plug himself in this real quick.
Yeah,
so you already about to do the play called True to My Religion.
Right.
So it's only right that you be hopefully somebody see this thing or hear it, or you talk about it somewhere else, and they be like, you know what, how you know about that? And then you'll never know, just because of the history that, you know, you'll probably read it later this week or something like that and just study a little bit on it. And you could actually use that to add into the play. You never know, man. You never know.
I'm going to actually go and look this up and try to go get with my dude who wrote True to My Religion, and we're going to write this jump.
Right, man. Like, I was blown away. I was like, why haven't I heard about this?
Dude, the people who wrote True to My Religion are from D.C. So,
there you go.
In D.C. This story is straight up.
Yeah, man. I was up reading that, and man.
Look at God.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
There you go.
Something called to me that night for me to read that, bro. Like, I couldn't, like, I was probably up. It was probably like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, and it was just one of those sleepless nights. I was kind of bored, and that's when I found myself kind of like reading like facts and stuff about movies and stuff. And just that night, one thing led to another, because again, I was watching Malcolm X, and I just started to. I just knew. I don't know much about the Nation of Islam itself. Obviously, it's not really known as that anymore. So I just knew that Elijah Muhammad guy was a little sketchy, and
Right.
and as I'm reading more information about him, he done had a whole bunch of other fucking run-ins. Like, and I'm talking about like from in like the 20s and the fucking 30s and shit. Like the 50s, he was having like all of this stuff before he even, ran across Malcolm X or Malcolm Little at the time. So, yeah.
I mean, what you got to think though, he was definitely going to have run-ins, not only because of some of the things he was probably doing that was maybe not right in the eyes of God, but also because he was doing things that were not right in the eyes of the white man at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a radical movement and you have a bunch of black men that can move together in unity,
you're dangerous,
and they have power, then you're going to be looked at radically. You know what I mean? You're going to be looked at in a certain light, and it can be scary to our government because it makes them feel as if they're losing their power. And I look at it like this. I look at a lot of the Trump supporters now, and I'm not mad at anybody who voted for Trump. I can't be mad at them, but a lot of them feel as if they're losing their place in America. They feel like they're becoming just losing their place. They feel like they're losing their rights. They feel like they're losing their power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a scary thing to a lot of people, to lose that power, especially to groups who you have felt were inferior to you for so many years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I get it. Wow. I'm definitely going to look at the Hanafi siege. That is crazy.
Man, it's a very interesting read, brother. If you get that off the ground, man, I would love to see that, because I'm just surprised like it's not been talked about a lot, and something hasn't been made, about it, because
man, that's crazy. I gotta put that in motion before somebody steal that one, big dog.
Man,
hey, sir.
Man, I gotta give you credit for it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Hey, whatever. Again, something called to me that night for me to read that. And
dude, that is a motion picture. That is a major movie.
It is.
You think about something like that. That's just like, I looked at the other day with what's his name, Matthew McConaughey. The what is it? The Jones. What was he when he led the revolt?
Free State of Jones.
Yeah. That was really good.
Things like that, stories like that are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It pulls at your emotional heartstrings, and it's part of actual history. It's not a fictional thing. It is real. It is actually happened. And those stories definitely need to be told, especially something like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like my next story need to be told. And I really, oh man, that's deep with the Nation of Islam. I don't even want to go there because I don't know anything about it, and I don't.
I'm very novice on the Nation of Islam, like, because I don't know anything about being a Muslim or like the life. Clearly I know Muslims and whatnot, or have met Muslims before, but I don't know like the lifestyle other than what's been portrayed to the media and to movies and things like that. So I can't speak on it. I don't have nothing negative to say about it. I don't have nothing positive to say about it. It's just something that I don't speak on things that I don't know about, because that's when you find yourself like, looking like a jackass speaking on stuff you don't understand. Like, it's.
And in this world where we are with it now, everybody's accessible. Anybody can get DM'd. So it's like, or touched, even like with certain things that are close to people's hearts and stuff like that. So, people can they can find your IP address and like locate you at this point. Like regular folks. So it's like talking crazy on the internet, even if you have a dummy account and stuff like that, it's not smart. It's like not wise. And then, but before it got to be that way, it was never really wise in the first place. Like you said, Jay, you just you talking crazy for no reason about something, and then it's kind of like where death and life lies in the tongue on you, because you kind of like you're conjuring your demise or your elevation, one or the other.
Yeah. But just because you don't know what you're speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right? Don't even know.
Right. It's just got to be careful what groups we speak on, and how we speak of them. And I look at it too, like a lot of this country, right? We're at this point, we're pushed. The agenda is to be scared of the Muslim people.
Oh yeah, of course.
Whether they're I'm not speaking about Black Muslims here in the U.S. I'm speaking about just the Muslim religion in all. Like they're this radical, evil religion that everyone needs to be scared of. That has been portrayed by the media. And when I meet some of these people, they're some of the most kind-hearted people in the world. They're just like regular Christians, you know. And I had to go back and remember how many people killed people in the name of God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Christians kill people in the name of God,
right?
You know, and it's like I look back over time in history. It's like there's good and bad in every religion. It just is
all of them.
Yeah, even Buddhists got some bad people. I guarantee you they do, because we're human. We're incapable of being perfect.
Exactly.
We're incapable of it.
And that's. Oh, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm good. That was all I need to say.
Yeah. And that's why, like, as I get older now, I find myself getting mad so angry at the school systems as far as like history, because when you go to school and you do, no matter what year, what level of history that you're in, it's always gonna be perceived and told in a way that America is the good guys. You know, the United States of America is the hero and everything, and the hero of all wars. You know, we're the ally. You know, things like that. And you get brainwashed with that, and then you start as you get older and wiser and whatnot, and you start doing research on your own. You start seeing like, okay, America is not what it's always been perceived to be. You know, like you said, there's good and there's bad, and I was watching just going back like with another movie example. I watched this movie called The Five Bloods this summer. With it was a Spike Lee joint. I found it very good because I've always been very fascinated with Vietnam War, simply because it's just conveniently something that never was covered in school. You know, at least in my school. So
because we didn't win that war.
We didn't win the goddamn war. You're right. We got our ass kicked and chewed. And for no reason, you know.
That was one of those wars that we probably should have butted the hell out of it.
Just let people do what they like, and I understand what Muhammad Ali was saying at that time, when he was getting chastised for not going, for getting drafted and not going. He's like, I don't have no problem with those Viet Cong's people. They ain't never called me nigger, that was his words. And as I get older, I understand that because, I don't have no quarrel with those people. Like, they ain't never called me nigger. I'm living in the country right now. You my poser, like how he was saying, when I want freedom, you my poser, that's and I feel him on that because, we got people, our people have fought and died and bled for this country just to go back home and get spat on, and it's just bullshit, man. And I'm sorry, I'm getting angry just thinking about it now. I just I find myself like, okay, it's not built for us to win, it's sad because America is a place that you should be prideful of your country. The more I get older, and I don't care who disagree, you try to counsel me or whatever, the more I get older and I realize America is just built on bullshit, and
right.
And it's just, And it's just I kind of get shameful of some of the things because it's, you know, and I'm sure, you know, they have their themselves tucked away that we'll never know about what went on. You know, we only, you know, the history books and all that is stuff that we'll never know because it's top secret and whatnot. But, you know, I don't put it past anything America has done is, you know, gotten their hands dirty in. You know, with Vietnam, with World War II, World War I. I just find it hard to believe that America was always the good guys and all of that. And yeah.
But of course, the blue pill, they're gonna give you the blue pill and keep serving you that. Like, you take your pill and you just go back to sleep and everything is cool. And it's like, it's obviously not. Someone wrote that to be a black man and to be awake in this country is disturbing and often not comfortable or something like that. So in other words, like, just to be black is one thing, but then to be conscious and black, it's going to keep you on your toes and you're going to look at everything with a side eye, or you're always going to kind of be like being more in tune with what's going on instead of being so disconnected and you know, desensitized that you don't understand what it is. And so what I'm talking about is looking at the world without the veil, taking it off. Because like you kind of just look at it's a film that came out in the 80s called They Live. Roddy Piper was in that one, and I started it, but it basically is just like this. He has these special glasses, and when you look at, like, you see a billboard that says Olay or McDonald's or whatever. When he puts the glasses on, it says obey, buy this, buy that. Wow. Conform. And this came out in the 80s. So you got to think about, so of course I bought the blue. What's that?
So the subliminal messaging is
exactly, yes,
is underneath of what they're really trying to tell you. Exactly. Or what they're showing you is a whole other subliminal message.
Exactly. And then everything has subliminal messages in it. I mean, like, even look at the films. Like I mean, you know, Barry, you're in the industry and you already know, I'm pretty sure, but from your past, but even like with the folks that you've been around shady characters and stuff like that before, even now, you can still tell the vibe because your discernment and all that is going to tell you what's up. Most of the time you get around people, you'll catch the energy. If you're on top of your stuff and staying connected, grounded as much as you can, you gonna feel weird around people you ain't got no business being around. And like, it just kind of starts to come to fruition. Sometimes it could be like a toss up. You may have like overshot it, but at the same time, the fact that you still have that connection to know, okay, something's weird about this is still good, because that means you're still feeling like you're more so connecting to your spirit and not just sticking to the physical.
Right, definitely. I agree.
So we're gonna move. We actually, believe it or not, organically, we pretty much discussed everything that was on this document.
Everything.
Yeah, organically, and I'm glad it just flowed so perfectly. So, yeah. But a couple more things, and we're gonna close the interview as far as the segment goes with that. But I know you talked about your music and whatnot, and last time of course, when we were working together, that's what you were doing. Primarily was being in music management and stuff. Right. So I remember the stories that you would share. Because I know you had your I think, was it Yellow Wolf that you were associated with at one point. And I know Dynamite.
Yeah, I was working with him. My best friend was his manager, or is his manager. I was out there with them, and when he first started, and I was actually working with an artist from Huntsville. We were getting a lot of play, and we actually got an offer from RCA at one point. Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite. Yeah.
That was my personal artist, and we were making some traction. We could have had a record deal if it wasn't for our freaking egos.
I had met him like once upon a time. Once upon a time, I was trying to rap. We ain't gonna go into that, but like, I shared the same stage with him. I just went on, like, it was like an open mic kind of night thing, yeah. But it was at a club called Classic Wheels at the time. Yeah, man. I saw he was doing a video promo, and they was shooting it before he got on the stage, and then got right into it. Huh?
I was there. I was there.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I
When
remember
when we seen the video at that time, I was there.
Yeah, he was turning up, boy. He was like, I'm about to go back to South Carolina on y'all or some shit like that. And he was just turning up, and I was like, damn. And it was just really interesting to see the behind the scenes part of like the filmmaking aspect of it, you know, telling the story and all that. And so it was dope. Did you wish that your egos would not have been what you feel comfortable speaking on? What exactly could artists expiring or whatever, what is it that they would need to change about themselves to get that deal or whatever? Or what was it about yours that you feel that you wish you would have changed?
I think a lot of it at that time was just me and him were both ego driven.
Yeah.
And when we didn't see eye to eye on certain things, it's hard to have two alpha males in a room and not agree on everything. And then, but when they did agree on things, it was beautiful. It was magic, and it worked. But when you don't agree, and then two egos hit, and you collide and crash, you'll burn. So with the RCA thing, they wanted us to get 4 Legs, which is one of his records, on the radio. The RCA, the radio program director, loved this record.
Excellent.
Like, if y'all can come up with so much amount of money to put behind radio, of course, because it's pay to play. Let's not be twisted.
Also, every time.
Y'all can get this much money, then if the record starts taking traction, then if it does take off, then we're gonna sign y'all. It's just the same thing they did with Drake, and people don't realize it. It's almost like what they did with Drake. If the record took traction, they was gonna fucking sign him, even though he was gonna get signed to a Young Money or someone that had already been signed anyway. Especially with what's his name down there in Houston, Jay Prince. He already had powers to be behind him, so he had money behind him. When they were just waiting for that one record to take off, and once it did, Universal came and said, "Hey, let's open up the floodgates for them. Let's give them the money through Cash Money." Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, they see the influence.
So RCA wanted to do the same thing for us. Like I said, lack of egos and a lack of knowing the business.
Okay.
When I look back at things now, if we would have moved just one way different, we both would have been millionaires by now. LJ, I call him LJ, Legers, Willer. Y'all call him Dynamite.
Okay.
Hardest fucking artist I ever met in my life. I think he emailed me or we texted each other probably about a year ago or so. His grind displayed to me the kind of grind that I need to have in acting.
Oh, wow.
Kind of mimic that. His hustle.
Yeah. And it'd be pretty fire. Like, it's good stuff, but it's kind of like, and then like, I don't know everything about the music business, but like some of what I do know based off just attraction and all that, it's like the ship has sailed in a sense, but I love the fact that he's still doing it because it's for the love of it. It's not about.
Yeah, definitely for the
craft. Right. He loves it. And I respect that more than anything. That's the type of stuff that makes me still follow an artist and cheer for Andre 3000, even though I respect the fact that Andre doesn't want to do it anymore because he feels that he respectfully said something like, I just don't fit. Like, it's not something I fit into where it is now. And then trying to produce what I do, you can't get that with what we got going on right now, and it's not a place for it. And so he's doing other things. So
that's beautiful you said that, because even if LJ or even if Dynamite is not on a major label, he feels as in himself he's still an artist.
Right.
Like, even if today, in 10 years, if I do make it, God willing, I do make it big, and I just decide, you know what, I ain't in no more movies anymore. Nobody else is booking me anymore. Right. I'm still gonna be an actor.
Absolutely.
Because I'm still gonna do my plays. I'm gonna still do things. I'm still gonna want to work on that craft. So I'm still an actor, whether I'm on TV or not. You know what I mean? So I'm still an actor. That is what I am. So I totally understand that and get it. But the dude was the fucking hardest artist I've ever seen work. He worked hard as Yellow Wolf. He worked hard as any other artist. He had exactly what it made to make it to the next level. I think if he was sensitive, he had an ego, which was beautiful because all great artists do. All great artists have some type of ego. All great artists are a little sensitive, especially when it comes to their work and what they want and how they see things and how they envision things working or happening. So
I can relate.
It's beautiful just to be able to have worked with that guy. Like I said, I mimic my grind now with acting off of his grind and Yellow Wolf's grind. Yellow Wolf worked his ass off too. Fuck, dog, to be a white boy coming from Gaston, Alabama.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of grinding. And then to come to Atlanta, and when we were here in Atlanta that first year, I think he had got like Performer of the Year just for Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, because he worked his ass off.
Yeah.
And when I watched my best friend work, it's like they were nonstop working. Now I don't know if my best friend's managing or not now, but my best friend now has an artist named Bobby Sessions out of Dallas.
Okay.
Bobby wrote Savage for Megan. He wrote the hook. Yeah. So my boy Jeremy Jones, shout out to Jeremy Jones, Buckhorn, my bestie.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he's right there in Huntsville too. People don't even talk about Jack like that. They don't know Jeremy is managed Snow the Product, Ritz, Bobby Sessions now, Yellow Wolf, a bunch of people. Anthem has records all over the radio. Y'all probably don't even know who Anthem is, but Anthem with the Alabama A&M. He's a producer. So it's just like, it's beautiful to see people actually from our city that are actually in the industry that we probably don't even know about, or that you probably don't even know about, but they're actually in the industry and they're making moves. One dude was to me, he was out there at Spotify. He's from Huntsville. People didn't even know that. He was over Spotify. He was over the whole damn near hip hop division of Spotify at one point. People didn't know that.
Wow.
But there's a lot of success coming from our city, no matter how small and what they think, or from our state, no matter how small people say they are and we're not important. You can make it from Alabama. In any type of industry, whether it's painting, whether it's drumming, whether it's podcast, being next, whatever y'all, platform you're going to be in, that you're continuously doing, because right now y'all are putting people in good light, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's able to be done from our city.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Just got to keep working.
Much appreciated.
It's not an overnight thing, and that's the thing that I think our generation the new generation is so used to, is everything being instantaneous. It's like instant coffee, microwave dinners, this, but it's no longer, it's not that. It's really a grind. And if you want, anybody can get on TikTok and be successful in 15 minutes of fame, but those people are really, they're here today and gone tomorrow. And I look at it like any artist that really, really wants it in the music industry has to grind from, it is the same old grind. There are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. If you think there are shortcuts, then you're one in a million if you get a shortcut. There's only one Nelly that can blow like that. There's only one 6ix9ine that gets that lucky. But look at his ass now. I don't want to be around that snitch. I'm just
And then, man, he was never really like you could watch his whole situation and tell that he was young, naive, but at the same time, I think he wasn't that naive. I think he was just literally using people for. They were
using him, and he was using them.
Exactly.
It was a mutual friendship. It was a
two-way street.
A beautiful thing. It's like a man getting with a woman. She's using him for his money. He using her for the good looks, trophy wife, and the sex.
Oh yeah,
it's beneficial. It's mutually beneficial.
Yeah. It just didn't work well for him because he mixed with too many people like that, and somebody was an informant, and then now they basically have turned him into a bot. Like they turned him into he's a machine for the government at this point, because people was like,
look at Casanova, bro. Y'all heard about Casanova? The industry is really ugly, because you got to think that there is a huge gang affiliation within the industry, supposedly, and they're really locking down on that. I was managing an artist named T-Man a few years back. He was one of the, they were at a record label. We were managing GDON. He was one of the GDs that got locked up. Out of the 48 GDs, they had a RICO act against all of them. And just 48 of those brothers got locked up. The hip hop police is real.
Yeah, that's very real.
Everybody who's really in the industry, trying to be in the industry, if you can, just do it for the craft. Do it for the love the money will come. But do it for the love and do it for the right reasons. And try to associate yourself with good people. That's mine.
Do you feel like it's possible to do that though? Like, do you feel like there's a what? Like, okay, I know how they talk about it, you sell your soul and Illuminati and all that kind of stuff, but
I'm a Freemason. I don't.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I peep game.
I hear the Illuminati stuff.
Are you good? I already say hear none of it, but
there is a hierarchy in the industry.
Yeah,
there is, but as long as you're really surrounding yourself with good people and trying to do the right thing, and you're making good music, then it's undeniable, and you don't have to. You got to run in the right circles. Yeah. You got to know I can't be at this party after this certain time.
Yeah, gotta get out.
Certain things gonna start happening. I need to be here when the good people here. It's almost like me going to protest. I know that when I'm out, I'm protesting. I need to leave the protest when it gets dark.
Yep.
Because when dark comes, the rioting and the looting is gonna start.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with the industry. You know, I need to be at this party certain time and get the fuck on. I made my connections, my networking, and I had my few drinks, and okay, here comes the cocaine and shit. Let me leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, y'all.
Yeah, I gotta go, guys.
Right.
So, you know what it is. I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of industry parties lately. I don't know how the maneuvers now. But I'm sure it still works the same.
Yeah, it's probably the same, man. It's the same formula, I would imagine. I don't know.
But I mean, there are hierarchies. There are powers to be.
Yeah.
Some very, very rich, powerful people, dog.
Right.
Put a lot of money behind these artists. And they want to make sure that money's recouped and that they can make a lot more money. It's all about the money, you know what I mean? But with artists, a lot of times, it's just all about the fucking craft. It's about the music. It's about the love of doing what I do. Right. And some artists get into it because they had a lack of attention, and I do want the money, and I do want the fame, and I do want the women, and I do want my gang going. Gang. I get that. You got to look out for your people, but there's a way to look out for your people. There's a way to look out for your people like MC Hammer did. Hopefully they won't take your ass down like they did Hammer.
Man.
There's a way to look out for your people like my boy Jeremy does. You know, he looks out for his artists, he looks out for his people, and make sure they're in the right light, and make sure they can be steered clear of the bullshit, if at all possible. That's where you got a good management. That's why you got to have. I tell all artists, make sure you have a good team. And I ain't saying a good team that just can make power moves. I'm saying a good team that people. My basketball coach at Buckhorn used to tell me all the time, make sure you're around good people, and you'll be okay. And you'll be okay.
That's true. Got to have you a good village.
Yeah. You got to have those people that's going to tell you, man, you fucking up, bro. And then you got to have people saying to you, man, we got to do this. We need to do this. We need to go harder. We need to do this. You know what I mean? You need that. You need your yes guy. You don't need a yes guy around you all the time. That could be your demise. And I think that they were feeding Tekashi. Everybody, he was almost being a yes guy to the gang. You know, and they was extorting his ass, and he was extorting them. He was getting the protection because he could talk that tough guy shit to the Chicago boys because he had the protection of the gang, and it made him look like this big untouchable dude. You know what I mean? So
if another young artist is watching this, they'll see it and be like, "Well, dang, I didn't think about it that way." Because you know, there's people out there that just dead ass watch this dude and think he legit, and there are people that be like, "Yeah, gosh, I want to be like him," and it's like. You haven't been here for a long time, but at the same time, you got to just know better than to think you can just go anywhere and say anything.
Yeah, to all the young artists, man, when you got all these, you know, you're throwing gang signs up in your videos and you got all the guns in your videos.
Right.
You understand you put yourself on the radar at that point. And you didn't put yourself on the radar just for people like me that are consumers. You put yourself on the radar for the law enforcement. And that's just facts.
Yep.
They looking, and they love to lock your black ass up. They've been doing it. They've been locking our black ass up for hundreds of years. They've been locking our black asses up for no reasons at all. Best believe they gonna lock your black ass up for all them guns and drugs and shit that you put in those.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they gang signs. And you know, with gang affiliation, you get extra time. If I get caught selling dope right now, I may get 10 years. If Jay get caught selling dope, I know you're not in the game, but let's just say you're in the game.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 25 to 30.
Yep.
You're gonna get life just because you got a gang affiliation with your charge. You get what I'm saying? So best believe they looking at y'all's ass. Just be careful and try to separate your real life from the music, even though music imitates life. You have to figure out, how can I separate the two when I am portraying it visually?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it is more because music is so visual now.
Yeah, it is.
I think gets a lot of people messed up.
And then on the spiritual side, you got to think about manifestation. Rappers and artists are the biggest. They're the biggest manifestors in the world because they literally talk about things they don't have until they appear. We all have that same power. We just forget it a lot because they don't want us to know about telekinesis and all the things that we have access to as like spiritual beings and stuff like that. Got to be careful. Like,
I think you hit the nail on the head. With whatever beast you feed the most is the one that's going to grow. Whether you feed the good beast or the bad beast, whichever one you feed the most is going to be the one that grows the biggest, and it's going to become you.
Excellent, man. All right, Barry. Well, we're gonna close out this interview, man. Interview with this, this little last thing. This has been amazing. By the way, I just want to throw that out there. But what's next for you? I know you touched on it. That you have you have a project that's been pushed to 2021 due to like COVID and whatnot. So we know that's on the horizon for you. But what's next? Do you have anything else that's
yes. So auditions. The one thing I wish you knew again is that's January 15th and 16th here in East Point, Atlanta. We're doing that play. I will be doing another play that I did last year. It's called Golden Rulers. It will be in February. It's going to be for Black History Month. It is a play surrounded by a bunch of kids, actually. And I love those kids. There are a bunch of kids in the play. So it's just, about 4 older men, and we're mentors to these young kids, and we're trying to mentor them. It's called Golden Rulers. And the Golden Rule, like do unto others as you would want to do unto you. True to My Religion will be coming. Should be in a movie named Blemished, coming in Nashville. It's in Nashville. Shoot that one.
Okay.
Also, Tattoo, which is going to be shot in South Carolina. He's still doing the Indiegogo thing, so he's still trying to get the money up for that one because it is a horror film and it's going to take a lot of money, and it is an indie film. So he's been doing crowdfunding and Indiegogo for that film. So that's still hopefully a go, but that remains to be seen because again, it's going to take a lot of money and makeup artists and all that stuff for that particular film. Yeah. Out on the Limb should be coming out in 2021. Again, Out on the Limb. Jamal Woodard, Trey Chaney, Zephaniah Terry, Cheryl Frazier, Michelle Lamb, a bunch of other people, me, myself, and I. Shout out to Okarike, Shot Major, Okarike's wife. This is a really good team there. And I'm just auditioning for a bunch of other things, man, right now, and looking to get an agent.
Sow those seeds, bro. Sow those seeds, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you on the big screen, and I'm going to have to, I might have to pull up and play too.
It's coming, brother. It's coming.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
It's coming, but it may be 5, it may be 10, it could be. That ain't gonna be no damn 20 years. Damn, that'd be.
Nah, it'll be less than that, man. I think it's already around the corner, man. I feel like it's already around the corner. You got the right energy, man. Like it's a breath of fresh air having this show with you. Like this is not our first show back, but this is one of our more recent ones back since we took a little bit of time off, and this has been a really good push. I needed it, and I don't take it lightly personally. So I really appreciate you taking this time because you could have did anything else. You could have did anything else with this time that you wanted to do, but you chose to spend it with us, and for that we are grateful. Like we appreciate it.
It has been such a pleasure to be with you, gentlemen, for these last couple of hours. So I really thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. We as we do with most of our guests, we gotta have you back on at some point in the future, bro. I know it'll likely probably be sometime in 2021, considering this is the month is December, but
right. And you're super busy.
yeah. Next thing you know, man, we might be seeing you on billboards and stuff the next time we chop it up with you, man. So
won't he do?
Yeah,
sure.
Hey, I'm speaking it into it, man.
It's gonna be there, man. It's gonna take some time. I'm not naive to the grind and to the process. But once I get it, oh yeah, it's gonna be on and popping.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love it.
Definitely.
And continue to grow, and I'm proud of y'all, man. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, podcast gotta grow, man. It's dope. That's love. I feel that. That's love right there.
Man.
All right. Well, I'm really glad that, again, thank you, Barry, for coming on the show. Jay, thank you for doing your thing, man. I don't know. I don't want to say a whole lot, but with that being said, I've been your host, T.
And this is Jay.
We had none other than Barry Williams on the show tonight. We appreciate you again. It was just golden. But don't forget, man, when life gives you lemons, make lemon water, y'all. Peace.
Amen.
Yo.